Some of the things that you have to do in your line of work take a bit of courage. What was it? Keith and Anne, I spoke. They only got signed up yesterday, and they're here today. I don't know where you are right now. Oh, they're down here somewhere. They've just first day of the business, and they're down here. Brilliant. It's going to take some courage for them to offer the opportunity to people around them who they know, people that they come across in the cafe, the local cafe. Hey, I was in my local cafe, what was it, about 6 weeks ago, and I'm sat there, and this young man walks in, sat in front of me, head down. I thought, oh, he looks depressed. I like to talk to people. That's why I was mingling with you all earlier. I like to talk to people. I got talking to this guy. I said, are you all right anyway? I said, what do you do? He said, I'm a gardener. It's the winter months. There's no money to be earned. I said, have you heard of Clean Easy? I did. There he is. I said, have you heard of Clean Easy? He said, do you know what? Funnily enough, I have. I said, give us your number. And I got hold of one of my friends who are up in Warrington. Is it Julie? Is Julie here today? She's ill. Well, hopefully she's watching this through the stream at home. Hopefully she contacted him. That sometimes takes courage to ask these people to get involved, people, strangers in the street. That takes courage. It took courage for Zoe here. I don't know if she's, where are you, Zoe? Very intelligent person, by the way, and everyone was encouraging her to go on to university, but you know what? She had the courage to say, no, I'm not having that. I'm not going to end up working for other people. I'm going to join Clean Easy. That took some courage. She earns more money now than I ever did in the first 35 years of my life. She's only 22. You're still 22? You are. Fantastic. That takes courage. Do you know what, guys? There'll be things... Oh, by the way, she's in my next book. Did you see that? Never miss an opportunity. There'll be things that you do not do in this industry, in your role at Clean Easy, that you don't do because it feels a bit nervous for you. Guys, you've got to do those things. You've got to take some action. Write down 3 things that you don't do that you really should be doing because it feels uncomfortable. Write them down, but don't just write them down. Commit. When you leave this auditorium to doing them by the end of January or whatever it may be, I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to ask my cousin to get involved. I'm going to, whatever it may be, my neighbour, do them. That's how we create success. It's doing the things that feel uncomfortable. And do you know what? I knew it was going to help me winning that competition. I knew it was going to help me. I became more confident. That was the idea. Next 2.5 years at school were fantastic. But I got to 16 and I made a big mistake. I walked out of school without taking me exams. Thought I were clever. Qualifications, you're joking. I left home at 16 and moved in with Sonia, my sister. She had a flat by now, and I got myself a couple of dead-end jobs. My first job, have a guess what it was? And it was ironing trousers in a factory. Do you know what? I was one of the best ironer of trousers they had. No, there was 2 of us doing it, me and Debbie. And I always used to make sure that I did more pairs than Debbie. I didn't want a woman beating me. Those creases, by the way. See those? Did those last night. I hated the job. Unfortunately, I didn't know about Clean Easy back then. Who knows what would have happened had I got involved back in 1986. But I left that job and I got myself a different one. But it was a step backwards. It was washing plates in a hotel. Washing plates for a living. It was a Hilton Hotel in Leeds. Do you know those plates were so clean when I finished them? You could have ate your dinner off them. Oh, I hated that job as well, so I did something about it. I took some action. You've got to do something about it. Don't whine about it. Don't stay in a job for 15 years and whine about it. Get out of there. I took some action. I went to London. I joined the army. This is Woolwich Barracks in London, where I did my basic training. And for the first time in my life, nobody knew about my past. In fact, it's not there. That's Woolwich Barracks at night. No one knew about my past. Oh, my mum died in a car accident. That felt more acceptable, and I got away with that little white lie. I was posted out to Germany, where my regiment were. I got myself a German girlfriend, Petra. The amusing thing about Petra was she was German, but when she spoke English, she had a Glaswegian accent. It was so funny. But after a couple of months with me, it was Broad Yorkshire. Anyway, oh, by the way, this is 1989. Something happened. Something monumental happened in Germany in 1989. Does anyone know what it was? Berlin Wall. What about it? No. Petra dumped me. Hey, the old one. Of course, the wall came down. Quite unexpected as well, that the wall coming down. And a month after the wall came down, this happened. The Marshall Cavendish released a magazine, the murder case book. My secret was out. Somebody brought the magazine back to the regiment. People were talking about it. And do you know what, if I'm honest with you? I felt like I did as a young person, not quite as good as other people. I had a bit of a breakdown, let's say, and I ended up on the psychiatric ward of Hanover Military Hospital, and eventually they kicked me out of the army, unfit for army service. But you know what? I didn't let it stopped me. I came back to Leeds, where I'm from, and I did the thing we got to do. Do you know when things don't go our way in life? You can't turn back the clock. I couldn't go back in the army. I couldn't bring my mum back. We've all got a choice what we do next. So I dusted myself down. I thought, okay, that didn't work out. Let's start again. Bang. I got myself stacking boxes in a warehouse. I was one of the best stacking of boxes they had. In fact, I got my own place, same year. I got my own place, a little one-bedroom flat, first floor flat, and it was perfect because it was round the corner from where I worked. No bus fares. But when I say it was perfect, after I've been living there for 3 years, I've been burgled 3 times. Why did you laugh at that? I had a big knife under my pillow because I was so convinced that somebody was going to break in whilst I was there. At that point, it was far from perfect. But you know what? It forced me to think of a solution. Think of a way of improving my situation, which we always can. I'll buy my own house. I'll buy my own house. Now, I don't know about you and what your background is, but I always thought that people that own their own homes, they're better than me. That's a different world to me. I bought my own house on the 3rd of January. I've mentioned that date once already today, haven't I? It was the 3rd of January 1994. And you know what? My next door neighbour was a CID officer. I got a bank loan for a car. I was bordering on middle class. It didn't happen by accident. It didn't happen by accident. It happened because I set it as a goal of mine. I'm going to buy myself a house. You don't achieve things by accident. You won't get to Miami by accident. It's by saying, I want to get to Miami. And I'm going to do what it takes to get there. Now, I didn't know about goals and goal setting when I was growing up. It's only the last few years that I've been introduced to the real power of goals and goal setting. But actually, when I think back over some of the things that have gone on in my life, actually, I have known about goal setting. Winning that speaking competition, I wanted to win it. That's why I walked on without any notes. I wanted to win it. I joined the army. That is me under there. Can you see that? You can just tell with the ginger hair. I didn't join the army by accident. It happened because I wanted it to happen. We don't achieve things by accident. In 2006, that's when I was introduced to the real power of goal setting, because something happened. Oops. I didn't find any money. I paid £1,200 to spend 8 hours with a coach. Her name was Jane Kenyon, in fact. I sat with Jane for 8 hours, 4 sessions over 4 periods, and in my 4th and final session, something happened. She said to me something, and I thought it was crazy when she said it. She says, Richard, just imagine you've got a magic, that's £1,200, by the way. So just imagine you've got a magic wand and you can have anything you want. I thought, is she for real? She said, write down what, she gave me about 5 minutes, write down what you would like to achieve if you had a magic wand. And you couldn't fail. I thought, I'm here anyway, I might as well. I wrote down 34 things. I have still got that piece of paper 6 years later. Out of my 34 things, 21 of them are highlighted. 22 of them should now be highlighted because one of the things on there was to write my 3rd book. Did I mention I've written a book and it's out today? It's a worldwide launch today. I'll tell you something about that at the end. Guys, I wrote that list down. If I'd have known about this stuff years ago, I would have done it when I was 18. Guys, you've got to know what you want to achieve in life. That year, by the way, 2006, when I sat with Jane, I was introduced to a film called The Secret. Has anybody come across The Secret? Great film, isn't it? All you've got to do is believe you can achieve it, think about it, but also get a picture for the thing you want to achieve. Have you done all that stuff? Yeah, I thought, okay then, I'll have a bit of this. Do you know what I did? I got a picture for the car that I wanted to drive. This was just off Google Images. A silver BMW 318. Do you know why? Because my boss had one. My boss had one many years ago, and he once let me drive the car, and I was driving this car one day down the M62 with my sister Sonia sat beside me because she was working with me. And I said to Sonia, hey Sonia, what would my mum think? And I've always had a thing about silver BMWs. Guess what cars I see everywhere? It's your reticular activation system, bit of science there. But guys, that was my screensaver on my computer after I watched The Secret for it was over a year. It was 15 months, in fact. Guys, it's not a coincidence, guys, that's what I drive. Not by accident. That's a 320, not a 318, but it's more or less the same car. You don't achieve things by accident. Get a picture of the thing you want to achieve. My 3rd book was on that list. Do you know what? I mocked up that. Before that book became a reality, do you know what I did? I got another book, right? I mocked up the cover. I stuck it on it as if it was a real book. I was like walking around with it. It was in my briefcase all the time. When you focus on something enough, you find a way to make it happen.